Hey you guys, I'm going to show you the sky that we have had now for the 6th consecutive day. This might be normal for other areas, other places, other states that aren't really states in actuality, but it's not normal for California. The good thing about being middle-aged is that I have some experience and years, decades under my belt that remind me of how the weather in California used to be. When rain would come through, it would rain and it would pass. The sun would come right out after it finished raining. It absolutely boggles my mind how there are other people who live here and trees that are flowering that I never saw flower before. Gosh. I really hope I'm not the only one who does this. A split second, I see something and take notice of it, and then I can't get back to what I was thinking or talking about prior. This is a lot more severe than just walking into a room and not remembering why you went in there in the first place. 6 straight days in the latter part of May, when the fire ripped through here before, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it is now, it was boiling hot and Santa Ana winds. And now, it's like we're still in winter. And I don't understand why so many people are the only one awake in their family. How many of you are the only one awake in your family? Is this by design? My mind wanders to everything. Is this by design? Where they either are making it, they're constructing it for one person to wake up? Or are they keeping, or is this awakening occurring naturally in some people, and then they get involved and send signals, frequencies to your family's brains in order to keep them docile and completely ignorant and clueless about everything you show them or present to them or tell them? They refuse to take any notice of it. Literally turning their back and walking away from you as you're telling them facts that they can prove easily themselves if they choose. And they still, I don't know, maybe it's because I think if the situation were reversed and someone was trying to warn me, I know I am not of the mindset to ignore something someone was trying to tell me. I wouldn't ignore it, and I would not just turn around and think, oh, conspiracy theorist. I think there's something more to this. can't be. They're seeing all the things that well, not quite. I take that back. They're witnessing some things, the same things that I'm witnessing, the skies, the helicopters, the fighter jets. You know how often I would hear a fighter jet take off or land at Point Mugu? A couple times a year. That was all. My husband flew F-18s. My father flew F-86s. I know the sound of a fighter jet compared to an airliner. I was a flight attendant for 7 years. My father was an airline pilot. I grew up on airplanes. I know their sound. I would have been the last person I ever would have expected to stumble upon all of this. I studied animal health. I wanted to be a vet because I always loved animals more than people. There are too many of us in the same boat trying to warn our family and our friends, and we're being ignored for it to just be a coincidence. And once you come to know your Creator, you know there are no coincidences. There are not a whole lot of people who I run into or who comment on my channel or everybody else's channel where their whole family knows, or there are 3 of them in the family you know and they can't get one more to... It's not that situation at all. It's one person. So cold. My skin is so thin. A temperature of 60 degrees hurts. It hurts me. I can see my skin getting thinner. I can see my hands turning into like a 75-year-old's hand. Here, see? It sinks in. And it's doing that only in specific spots. And see, I will notice that. No one else will. And I'm getting old at warp speed. This deserves closing the door. You see me. You see my heart. My own family doesn't see it. They don't see it. They don't know me. How can that be possible? I live with those people in the same house, day in, day out, night after night, year after year. And yet they don't know me. They don't know what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do. They don't know the love in my heart, the compassion, the empathy. But you guys do. And these I'm keeping in both ears because I keep getting an earache in my right ear. I don't know if these can block the opening altogether so that nothing can get in, but I keep them in. And then I get told, take it out because, you know, it's rude if you're sitting. Who cares? If it protects it. I don't want to say who. One of my helpers keeps getting an ear infection. Not earache. Do you think I can make it through one video without messing up what I'm saying? That's what I thought. Me neither. All right, the sky. The daily friggin' sky. That somehow have a lot of leaves on them now, and yet at the same time they still don't look healthy. Don't get it. Do you know what this makes now? For fourth straight weekend in a row of a white Saturday. 4 weekends now. And the weather app shows the same thing for next Saturday. Isn't that funny? My goodness. The weather in California is breaking all sorts of records. All these dark clouds and not a drop from them. Nothing. And it's the third consecutive day in a row where it has been completely covered. Friday, we had the trails with some sun peeking through. Hey guys, you see this again? Completely covered. Not a drop from it, just completely covered sky. And now I guess this is what they claim on that weather app is a clear sky. It showed just the sun. Look at that. Wow, that is just such an obvious layer at a specific altitude. Like it's frozen in that position.
Clouds over the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, so much for a clear day. These meteorologists are going to end up getting more and more angry because they're wrong all the time. Whatever weather they predict doesn't turn out to be what they say.